The Vanishing of Room 307. On a cold November evening 2017, a small hotel on the outskirts of town welcomed a new guest. His name was Daniel Hart, 34 years old, quiet, well dressed. He arrived carrying only a black backpack and a small suitcase. The receptionist later said that there was nothing unusual about him. He smiled, signed the register, paid for 2 nights, then walked to the room 307. Nobody knew that it would be the last time anyone would clearly see him. The next morning, hotel staff noticed something strange. Daniel never came down for breakfast. That wasn't unusual by itself. Many guests slept late. But around noon, housekeeping knocked on the room 307. No answer. They knocked again. Still nothing. The do not disturb sign hung from the handle. So they moved on. That evening, the sign was still there. The lights inside appeared to be off. Nobody had seen Daniel leave. Nobody had seen him return. Yet, his car remained parked outside. The receptionist assumed that he was simply keeping it to himself. After all, he had paid for the room. There was no reason to worry. At least, not yet. The following morning, Daniel was supposed to check out. But checkout time came and went. No sign of him. No phone call. No response from room 307. Staff finally used a master key to enter. What they found made no sense. The room was empty. Completely empty. No Daniel, no suitcase, no backpack, nothing. The bed looked untouched. The bathroom was dry. There was no sign that anyone had even spent the night there. Yet the hotel records showed that he had checked in. Security cameras showed him entering the room. And after that, nothing. Police were called. At first, they suspected Daniel had simply left without checking out. But there was a problem. The camera covering the lobby never showed him leaving. Neither did the cameras at the front entrance, nor the parking lot. Even stranger, his car was still there, locked. The keys were missing. Investigators began reviewing every second of footage. Daniel entered the room 307 at 8:17 p.m. The hallway camera captured it clearly. After that, nobody was recorded entering or leaving the room. Not Daniel, not a visitor, no one. It was as if he had vanished into thin air. The case quietly attracted attention. People love mysteries, especially impossible ones. Reporters started calling it the Room 307 disappearance. Online forums exploded with theories. Some believed Daniel had escaped through a hidden passage. Others suggested foul play involving hotel employees. A few went even further. They claimed supernatural forces were involved, but detectives focused on facts, and the facts was disturbing. Daniel's background revealed very little. He worked remotely as a software consultant, no criminal history, no known enemies, no large debts. His family described him as responsible and predictable. The kind of person who always answered calls, always returned messages, always showed up. Yet, after entering room 307, he seemingly disappeared forever. Then investigators discovered something interesting, a maintenance blueprint from decades earlier. According to old records, the hotel had undergone several renovations. Walls had been moved. Storage areas had been converted into guest rooms. When detectives compared the blueprints with the current layout, they noticed discrepancy. Behind one wall of room 307 was a narrow, unused maintenance space. It wasn't large, but it existed. Workers opened part of the wall. Everyone expected answers. Maybe evidence, maybe belongings, maybe even Daniel himself. Instead, they found dust, old wiring, and nothing else. The hidden space had not been used in years. The mystery only grew deeper. Months passed. Then a new lead appeared. A gas station nearly 50 miles away provided security footage. The footage showed a man resembling Daniel. The quality was poor, the image blurry, but the resemblance was striking. The man purchased water and snacks before leaving. Nobody could identify where he went afterward. The sighting could never be confirmed. Years passed. Nobody was found. No blank activity, no phone records, no verified sightings. Daniel Hart had simply ceased to exist. Or so it seemed. Then came the twist. A retired detective revisited the case. He believed investigators had focused too much on the room and not enough on Daniel himself. He examined Daniel's finances again. This time, he noticed several small cash withdrawals made over many months before the disappearance. Nothing dramatic, just enough to avoid attention. He also found evidence that Daniel had quietly sold some personal belongings, not expensive items, just enough to build a hidden cash reserve. The detective developed a theory. What if Daniel had planned everything? What if the disappearance wasn't a crime at all? What if it was just an escape, carefully designed vanishing act? According to this theory, Daniel chose the hotel because of its camera blind spots. The security system was old, certain services exits were poorly monitored. If timed correctly, a person could potentially avoid being recorded. Not easily, but possibly. The untouched room suddenly made sense. Perhaps Daniel never intended to stay there. Perhaps room 307 was merely part of the illusion, a place to create mystery, a place where investigators would search for impossible answers while he quietly walked away. There was a problem: no proof, no passport activity, no confirmed identity change, no trace of new life, only speculation. Today, the case remains unsolved. Was Daniel murdered? Did he stage his own disappearance? Did investigators miss something hidden in plain sight? Nobody knows. But somewhere the answer exists. Maybe in an overlooked document, maybe in a forgotten memory, or maybe in the mind of a man who decided one day to disappear and succeeded. Some mysteries are solved by evidence, others are solved by times, and a few remain suspended between the two. The mystery of room 307 is one of them. A man walks into a hotel room, the cameras watch him enter, and somehow they never watch him leave.